Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Karen. Glad you're here. You have traveled with me this weekend to my beach house. It's not quite as perfect as the bookcases, but it is more perfect for Shanti because she might just sleep here for the duration of class. You might get more quality Shanti time. Um, but I hope that you all are enjoying the weekend so far. It is just absolutely beautiful. And I know I needed the sunshine. I hope that you're getting a little dose of what you needed as well in terms of sunshine. Playlist is both posted in the chat and in the description of class if you want some music for your practice today. If you've not practiced with me before, I'm Mikki, and this is just going to be your easy, feel good Saturday morning flow. Easy meaning take it easy, right? There's going to be options to add some challenge and options to skip some challenge. But easy in the sense of turn down the pressure, turn down the expectation, and just allow your body to move this morning in a way that kind of moves the week off of your body and settles you into your weekend where you're just ready to embrace the sunshine, embrace the activities, the gardening. Give yourself exactly what you need this morning. And it looks like we dropped a bunch of people right when we went live. So just a reminder that if at any point it's not working for you, just hit refresh. And it should, that live linked on our Yoga and Beer community page should just always play what's live. So if you refresh, it should just pop you right back in. Okay, we're gonna get started on our backs today. So when you're ready, come on down. And let's bring the soles of your feet to the ground. Let your feet go wide, let your knees knock in on each other. And let's bring your hands down onto your low belly. Let's take a big full breath in here. And open your mouth, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Full breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. And then start to transition into a steady breath in, steady breath out. If you can, if allergies are allowing you to breathe in and out through the nose, I know it's getting a little tricky. Try to shift into that breath in and out. Is it possible through your practices and the times that you come here to your mat to start to create a bit of a refuge in this dropping in moment, a bit of a refuge into your breath, almost like sitting on the beach and listening to the ocean, sitting in a forest, whatever your refuge, your kind of happy place is. Is it possible over time, and maybe you're already there, to create that refuge here in the breath? Or as you come to your mat and you close your eyes and you get still and you start to breathe, there's a bit of a sense of, I've arrived. Here I am, just taking it all in. And if that space does not exist for you today, is that a seed that you could perhaps plant and start to cultivate moving forward? And then throughout your practice this morning, every time you start to get a little frazzled or it feels hard or you're over it, 20 breaths into chair pose, can you come back to this breath and attempt to create that sense of refuge? Last couple breaths here, settling in. If that intention resonates with you today, allow that to be your exploration. And if you need some other focus for your practice this morning, just invite that intention to begin to form. And then let's wiggle your feet to hip width. Let the knees separate. And we're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Reach down, grab onto your shin or your thigh of that right leg, and let's take your left leg out to straight on the ground. Flex that left foot, pull the toes back toward the knee as you press out through the heel. And then as you inhale, we're going to take your left leg and begin to lift it any amount up toward the sky. And then exhale, lower your left leg back to hover just off the ground. The rhythm of your breath here, let's do that a couple times. So without any need to rush or slow down, just as at the pace that your breath is moving. Inhale the leg up, exhale the leg down. Let's take the leg to the sky one more time. And then let's lower that leg to hover off the ground one more time. And we're going to keep it there. If that's too much for your core this morning and or you didn't sign up for core work, the heel can come to the ground. If you're game for a little low belly activation, let the left leg hover. We're going to slide your hands around to the hamstring of the right leg if it's not there already. Inhale, straighten the right leg in knee amount, press the heel up toward the sky. And then exhale, bend your right knee. All right, so this is only as challenging as you want it to be. If you're not into the core work, put the left heel on the ground. If you're into it, keep it floating and we'll straighten and bend that right leg a couple more times. Now, the next time that right leg straightens, let's go ahead and keep it there. Lengthen out through both of your heels. And then let's bend both knees, bring them both into the chest. Reach down onto shins, ankles, or feet. Maybe pull your head up towards your knees. And then both hands onto your left leg. And we're going to let your right leg relax down onto the ground. Take a full breath or two there. Let the right heel be grounded. Let that left leg just really drop into your belly. Flex through your right foot. Pull the toes back toward the knee. Feel the steadiness of the breath. Feel what the breath creates for you. When you're ready, we'll inhale. Take the right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, lower the right leg down to the ground, just to hover. Settling into your rhythm there. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Let's take that leg to the sky one more time. And then we'll lower the leg to hover. Again, remember, if you would prefer not to get that low belly work, just put the heel on the ground. We'll slide your hands onto your left hamstring now. And inhale, straighten the left leg. It does not have to get all the way straight. Just head that direction. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. One more time, straighten and bend. And then we'll straighten that left leg and let it stay straight. Feel both of your legs growing longer, like they're go-go gadget legs. Press out through the two heels. And then we'll bend both knees, reach down, grab onto shins. Ankles or feet, pull the head up toward your knees if that feels nice. And then we'll rock and roll up and down your spine. And we're going to make our way up and over into table. Shanti is just the ultimate sleeper. So wrists right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips. I will make a comment about this just because the opportunity is here. So today I'm practicing on carpet, which is not my normal at home. If you are on carpet at home and you notice over time that your wrists start to not feel good in some of this work, the carpet is actually quite hard on the stability of your wrists and is not ideal for yoga practice. So just a note for future. If you're going to be practicing on carpet a lot, you could put a breadboard under your mat or something solid so you've got a little bit more stability. Once in a while, it's okay. All right, so once you're in your cat or your table, it's cat cow. Inhale, belly down, head and heart lifts. Exhale, round your spine. Let the head fall forward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Let's take one more round of your cat cow here today. And then we're going to inhale into table. One other option for those of you practicing on carpet or just with tender wrists is as we do some of this work, instead of flat hands, you can always fist. So I'll throw that option out there as well. Let's take your right leg back behind you, place the toes on the ground, press back through the right heel. And then we're going to take your right leg, cross it behind you over to the left, put the toes on the ground, and let's look over your left shoulder. Take a big breath into the outer right hip, the outer right waist, the spaces between your ribs on that right side. And then bring the right leg back behind you, bend the knee, and come right back into table. All right, other side, left leg back, toes on the floor. Opening up the back of the leg here. So definitely a bit of a hamstring focused practice today. Some of you will be happy about that. Some of you will be like, why? And then let's take the left toes outside your right leg, look over your right shoulder, full breath into the outer left waist, hip, maybe the outer thigh a bit for some of you. And then we'll bring the left leg back behind you, bend the knee right back into table. And then let's begin to set your hands for downward facing dog. So I'm going to recommend this morning, it's Saturday morning. I think the saying's easy like Sunday morning, but let's make it Saturday morning. Let's take your hands wide, turn your index fingers out just a little bit, and tuck your toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Or downward sleeping shanti. So as you get into your down dog, maybe you also take your feet wide. So it's just nice and easy this morning on the shoulders, nice and easy on the hips. You can bend your knees as much as you'd like. And maybe pedal those legs out a little, bending one knee and then the other. And let the head hang nice and heavy between your arms. And then we're going to take your hands, walk them all the way back to your feet. Make sure your feet are just at a distance apart from one another that feels both spacious and supportive. We'll bend your knees quite a bit and let your belly find its way down onto your thighs. So I actually want you to be able to rest the belly on your thighs. So bend the knees enough that that can happen. And then let's just let your spine, your head, your arms dangle. We're going to try to stay committed to belly on thighs. So as you inhale, I want you to start to straighten your legs super, super slow, but you're going to stop straightening the legs at the point at which the belly pulls away from the thighs. And that's the point at which you're no longer lengthening hamstring. You're now just taking it into the low back. So let the belly stay connected. We're going to rebend the knees. We're going to bend and straighten there a couple times. Inhale, straighten only to the point at which the belly's still connected, and then exhale, bend. Nice and slow, slow enough that you can feel where the space, the stretch, if you will, is shifting. Is it staying in the back of the legs? Is it heading into your low back? We don't want the pressure to be in the low back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Let your hands return to the ground. Crawl yourself back forward into your downward facing dog. And from your down dog or in your down dog, let's bring your feet back to hip width if they're still wide. We're going to roll up onto your tippy toes, let your heels lift, let those hips get super high, and then exhale, drop your heels back down to the ground. 2 more times like that. Inhale, rolling up, heels high. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, heels lift. And then we'll let your heels come down. You can stay with that pattern if that's better than plank for you this morning. Or as you inhale, let's roll forward to plank. And then as you exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds there. So either inhaling to plank and exhaling to down dog, or inhaling, lifting the heels, and exhale, lowering them. The next time you pull back to down dog or drop your heels, let's take your right leg, lift it up toward the sky. And then we're going to step your right foot forward, boop, between your hands, any way that works for you. Go ahead and let your back knee come on down to the ground. This is the only time that carpet is nice. Come on up into your low lunge, hands to the sky. Let your pelvis press forward toward that front heel. Let yourself lunge into the pose this morning. How dare you disrupt my slumber. Sorry, Shanti. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. And we're going to come into half split. So we're going to straighten your front leg. You might actually lift that leg, put the heel forward to get it straightened. If you have a block or a couple blocks, you could also put your hand up on blocks to give yourself a little extra space. Pull those right toes back toward the kneecap. And then let's take a little round in your spine like cat. Feel where you feel that. Feel the sensation there. And then we're going to let the belly start to drop and move the spine slowly a bit more toward a cow shape. Just feel where the sensation shifts, how that changes it. Let's take 2 more full breaths here this morning. And as you stay here, let's press your right heel into the floor and feel like you're trying to pull it back in space. And then we're going to bend your front knee. Let the sole of the front foot come to the earth. Tuck the back toes under if they're not already. Lift your back knee. Pause there for a moment. Press back through that back heel. Feel that back leg reactivate and get strong and straight again. And then we'll plant your hands. And any way that works for you, shift it back to plank. Now, if you're skipping vinyasas this morning, you can head back to downward facing dog. Or knees down to the ground. Let's bend your elbows straight back as you lower to the belly, chaturanga. On the ground, go ahead and untuck your toes. Come into your little baby cobra. Heart lifting, shoulders sliding down the back. Exhale, head back to the floor. We'll press up through table, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg lifts as you're ready. And steps forward between your hands as you exhale. Let that back knee come on down to the ground. Rise up into your low lunge. Let the hips glide forward. And then hands to the ground or blocks. Straighten your front leg. Move that left heel as forward as you need it to be. Pull the toes back toward the kneecap. And then let's start with a bit of a cat spine. So rounding the back. And then do this slowly. Start to take more of a cow spine, belly down, heart forward, and see how that changes it. Push your left heel down into the floor. Feel like you're trying to pull it back toward you. And then we'll bend the front knee, shift back forward, tuck your back toes under, lift that back knee. We'll pause, really active back leg. Start to think plank. So everything but your left leg should start to feel like it's in plank here. And then when you're ready, boop, left leg goes back. Remember, you can skip the vinyasa and head to down dog or knees up or down. Chaturanga, elbows point back. Inhale, cobra. Maybe you keep it low. Maybe you start to push into those hands, come up a little bit higher. Back to the belly. Up through table or plank if you're feeling feisty this morning. And downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's start to stroll your feet forward to the front of the mat. Bend your knees enough that the body can drape over your legs. And then bend them a little bit more and let's roll up inch by inch by inch. All the way to standing. Taking the two hands up to the sky as you're ready. Feet root down, hands reach up. Let's press your palms together overhead and exhale, hands down into your heart. As your hands come down, let your heart lift up. Full, complete breath in here. Full, complete breath out. Inhale, hands reach up. Exhale, your hands can go wide as you fold or down through the center, whichever feels nice for your shoulders. Folding over your legs. Inhale, fingers on shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, let's fold, and we're going to step your left leg back. Feet hip width apart, back knee, back heel off the ground. Let's come up to your crescent lunge. Bring your hands up to the sky. And then as you come upright, let's straighten your front leg. Feel your two legs get super straight, super strong beneath you. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend your front knee, bring your palms to touch, and tap your left elbow, boop, to your right thigh. Inhale back to center. Reach up. Exhale, bend the knee. Left elbow taps right thigh. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Now let's untwist. Take your hands down around your front foot. Let the front leg straighten any amount. This could be another great place in your practice to put some blocks beneath your hands if you have them. Round your spine a little like cat. And then inhale. Draw the belly down, the heart forward slowly like cow. Just see how it changes the shape. Let's bend your front knee, plant the hands, step back to plank. Skip the vinyasa if you'd like, or exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, maybe upward facing dog. If you're in cobra, go back to the belly and push up. If you're in up dog, come back to plank. And then pull back. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet up. At any point that you need to take Shanti's lead and just head to Shavasana, we'll wake you up with Namaste at the end. She's literally snoring. So loud. I'd be surprised if the mic's not picking it up. Left leg to the sky as you inhale. Exhale, step the left foot forward between your hands. Come on up, crescent lunge. Once you feel like the legs have gotten underneath you, let's straighten your two legs. And then exhale, bend the front knee, hands to heart, right elbow taps left thigh. Boop. Inhale, come back up, straighten the legs. With your breath there. Last one here. We'll untwist, take your hands to the floor. We'll invite the front leg to straighten any amount. And then bend the front knee, look forward, and we'll step your right foot next to your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Palms press, and exhale, hands down into your heart. Finding refuge in the breath, staying for a full inhale. Staying for a full exhale. Stay for one more breath here. When you're ready, inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, we fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale, we'll fold. Step your right leg back. Come on up into your lunge. A little different than last round. We're going to take your hands to the sky. You're going to turn. Let's see. I'm going to come down, but you can keep your back knee lifted. I just want you to see my hands. I'm going to turn the palms out and then crisscross your wrists and push the palms into each other, like you're pushing into someone else's hand. And then you're going to take those hands pressing into each other and just reach over to the left. So you're side bending away from your back leg. The hand that's on bottom for you, resist up into the top hand. And then almost feel like you're doing a little bit of a side crunch on that right side, even as you allow yourself to continue bending to the left. Back to center. Uncross your hands, let them come on down around your front foot. Again, let's straighten the front leg. This time, you might keep the sole of the front foot grounded. You might roll to the heel of the front foot. One full breath here. And then we'll bend the front knee, let the foot come to the ground. Plant your hands and step back to plank. You know the drill. Head to down dog or chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, the difference being thighs on the ground, or for up dog, thighs not. Back to belly to push up from cobra, back to plank from up dog, and then downward facing dog. Right leg lifts as you're ready. And right foot forward between your hands as you breathe out. Crescent lunge, rising. Turn your palms, face them out. Crisscross those wrists. See if you can remember which palm was on bottom as you side bent. And then try to cross the other way with the other arm in front, this side. And we'll start to side bend toward the right. Press back through that left heel. Resist with your bottom hand. And almost feel like you're side crunching toward the left. Like even as you stretch and lengthen that left side, you're activating just a bit as well. Come back up to center. Release your hands down around your front foot. Let the front leg straighten one more time, any amount. Keep the sole of the foot grounded or roll to the heel of the front foot. Pull the toes back toward the knee. The half split shape we did with knee on the ground, this version with two straight legs, back knee off the ground, is an option for that. So if you like this one better than half splits, you could always come here when we're in half splits instead of back knee down. If you like half splits better than this one, you could also change that up and alternate. Just some modifications for you. Bring the sole of the front foot down, bend the front knee, step the left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's bend your knees. Come on up into chair. As you find your chair, maybe you keep your heels down. Maybe you lift the heels, roll up onto the balls of your feet. Option to stay here. Option to begin to fold the body over your thighs, take the hands, reach them back. Heels could be up or down for this. Heels down if they're lifted, come back up through chair, hands to the sky. We'll shift into your right foot. Bring your left knee up to your chest as you straighten that right leg. And just like we did on our back, we're going to take your hands underneath the left hamstring. You can kind of stir up the hands under the thigh. Move your shoulders back, lift your heart. And then inhale, let's straighten your left leg, any amount. And exhale, bend the left knee. 2 more times. Straighten. And bend. Straighten. And bend. And then let's take your left leg, step it all the way back into your lunge. As you step back into your lunge, we're going to let your back heel come on down to the ground. So it's warrior 1, facing the front of the mat. Let your hands come on up toward the sky. Inhale, root into your right big toe, straighten your front leg. And then exhale, bend the front knee. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, feel the quadricep engaging, pulling up the leg as it straightens. And then exhale, feel your hamstring engage as you bend the knee. And then one more time, let's straighten the leg. Bring your hands down to your hips. Pull your elbows back like you have a little thigh master, but between the elbows. They shouldn't be able to touch, but that's the direction they're heading. Keep rooting into your right big toe. And let's begin to fold forward over that front leg to a point that feels like the right place for you. Now, what I want you to try to explore in your spine is instead of folding and starting to round like cat, as you fold, can there be a little bit more of a tendency toward cow pose? And that's going to keep the elongation actually in the gluteal and the hamstring muscles as opposed to just dumping it into your low back. One more full breath here. And then bend your front knee, come back up, release your hands to the sky. Exhale, hands down around your front foot. And we're going to step back, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Your choice. Once you found your down dog, settle right back into the steadiness of the breath. That sense of settling in, taking refuge. And when you're ready, we'll take your right leg, same leg up to the sky. And we're going to step it forward between your hands. Come up into your lunge, crescent pose, back heel off the ground. Let's pull the hands back behind you into a clasp, either thumbs or all of the fingers. Knuckles toward the ground, shoulders broad, heart high. And then let's begin to tip just a little forward over your front thigh, just a little bit. Let's start to shift weight out of your back foot into your front foot until you're just on the tippy toes of that back foot. Then come on up into warrior 3. Take flight. Does not matter how high that left leg is off the ground, right? It could be barely off the floor, but that's balance. And then start to bend your right knee. Step back into chair. Hands to the sky. Your choice of heels down or heels up. Your choice to stay here or to fold over your legs. Legs stay bent, belly comes to thighs, hands reach back. Heels could be up or down. If they're lifted, it's a pose referred to as drinking bird for obvious reasons. And then heels down, come on up through chair. Shifting into your left foot. And let's bring your right knee up into your chest. Hands will go underneath the right thigh, holding onto the hamstring there. Plug the shoulders back, lift up through the crown of the head. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Again, straighten. And bend. We'll take that right leg, step it all the way back. Warrior one, back heel comes to the ground. Hands to the sky. Just lunging into that front leg for a moment as you push back through the back heel. And then root into that left big toe. Let your front leg straighten. And then exhale, bend. So feel the muscular effort to create that. As you straighten, feel the quadricep engage, pulling up the leg. As you exhale, feel the hamstring engage to bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. And we'll keep the legs straight. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows bent, hugging back. Heart high, shoulders broad. You can stay upright like this if you'd like, or attempting to keep that long spine. So for most of us, we need to think more cow than cat, because cat is what we naturally sort of head toward. Begin to lengthen forward. Keep the elbows hugging back. We'll bend the knee. Come up, hands to the sky, warrior one. Hands around your front foot. We step back, down dog or vinyasa, as you desire. Left leg lifts. Left foot steps forward between your hands. We come on up, crescent lunge. Hands pull back behind you, clasping thumbs or all of the fingers, opposite thumb on top if you can remember. And then let's begin to lean forward over your front thigh. Feel the shift. So move weight out of your back foot into your front foot until you're on the tippy toes of that right foot. Then come on up into your warrior three. Nice and steady, nice and easy. Bend the knees. Come back to your chair. Your choice, heels up or down. Stay here. Or fold over the legs. Again, hands are reaching back, head is going down. Knees are bent, heels could be up or down. Heels down. Sit up chair. And hips high, head down. Let yourself fold. Legs straighten any amount. Let's wiggle your feet a little wider than maybe normal. And you can either slide your hands onto the back of your calves. Let the head hang. Some of you, if it feels available, you have extremely long arms like I do. You're going to take your peace fingers, So that's your index and middle finger of both hands. Going to insert them inside the big toe. So between the big toe and the second toe. You're going to bring them down, wrap them underneath the big toe, hook onto the big toe, and then press your big toe back into your fingers. Fingers pull up into the big toes. Big toes resist down into the fingers as you lengthen and fold forward over your legs. Knees could definitely be bent here to help grab the toes and to make this kind to the hamstrings and the low back. So whether you have the big toe grab or you have hands on the back of your calves, let the head lengthen and drop toward the ground. Glide your shoulders up the back away from your ears. Let's take 3 more full breaths here. If you've got the peace fingers, slide them out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's keep your right foot where it's at. Take your left leg back. Left hand's going to stay on ground or block right below your left shoulder. Take your right arm out to the side, parallel to the ground. And then rolling around your waist, take your right hand up toward the ceiling. Oof. I paddled yesterday on my paddleboard for the first extended period of time since last summer, and I'm feeling it. Stay here if you'd like, or begin to root into your right big toe and straighten that right leg any amount. You can look sideways, up or down. Just make sure the neck is tension-free. And then right hand down, bend the front knee. Step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Let the fingers get all the way up to the kneecaps. Feel the hamstrings engage. Exhale, fold, and we'll get that other side. Right leg steps back. I'll start with the front knee bent. Back knee, back heel are off the ground. Left arm to the side, parallel to the ground. Right hand below the right shoulder. Spin around your waist to roll the left arm toward the ceiling. Stay here or begin to straighten your front leg. Glide the shoulders down the back. Again, make sure wherever your gaze is, it's not creating tension for the neck. And then bend the front knee, left hand down, and we'll step back through vinyasa or down dog one more time this morning. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. From your down dog, we'll walk, step, or jump all the way through to seated. Come on down to the ground. Legs out in front of you. And let's take the legs straight out, toes pointed up, heels pressing away from you. Toes not only pointing up, but also pulling back. And then I want you to press into the heels and start to bend the knees and actually feel the heels pull back towards you just a bit. They might even slide down your mat a couple inches and just let the hamstrings be engaged. You can even poke them. They should be firm. And then nice and slowly, re-slide those heels away from you. Let the legs straighten. Keep pulling the toes back toward the knees. You can stay here and stay upright if you'd like. Or super slowly, we're gonna do this gradually. Let's take your hands, maybe a foot forward from your hips, just start to lengthen forward. And let's pop up onto those fingertips and pull back with the hands. So they're not sliding back, it's a press down, pull back to get, again, in less cat pose, a little bit more of that cow pose shape. That might be your straight leg forward fold this morning. You might take your hands a little further forward, pull back with the fingertips. Try to find that essence of cow. So it's especially as you get deeper into this, it's not going to look much like cow pose, but I want you to feel like you're trying to create that work. Maybe a little bit further forward. And maybe a little bit further forward. You just keep repeating that until you feel like you've found that point at which you can no longer create any amount of cow pose. It just feels really rounded and starting to feel a little icky in the low back. When you get to that point, slide out a little bit and try to take yourself back to kind of that edge or even a little bit back from the edge where you feel like you can lengthen the spine. I'm not concerned with you being able to grab the feet. And even if you can, maybe just keep your hands on the ground and pull those fingers back. Last couple of breaths here. If it feels okay in your low back, you might go ahead and just let all the work go and slump for a couple breaths. If you start to do that and you're like, just come back up. And then we're going to walk your hands back along the legs, coming up nice and tall. Let's bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to start with the legs in nice and close. Hold on to ankles or shins or feet. Let those inner legs release. And then we're going to slide the feet in the shape away from you, so it's a bit of a longer diamond. You can stay tall and upright if you'd like, or you can start to fold forward to your heart's content. We're going to be here for maybe about 5 or 10 breaths. So I invite you to get into a space where the body feels pretty at ease. And you can take refuge once again in the breath, letting yourself settle and ground into the steady rhythm, the steady ease of the breath. Sitting back in awe and observation of this simple yet profound act of breathing, just as you would sit on the beach and stare out at the ocean or across a lake, as you would stare out at a sunrise or a sunset over the mountains. Let's take one final full breath wherever you're at. And we'll begin to ease yourself up if you are folded forward. Take your hands to the outer knees. Help guide the legs back together so they don't have to do that work. And then make sure you have mat to roll down onto behind you. Let's hold on to the backs of your thighs and lower yourself down onto your back. As you come down, go ahead and let the knees come in. Give them a firm hug into the belly. And then let's bring your feet flat to the ground, knees bent, knees and hips, or feet and knees hip width apart. And let's take your arms alongside your body, reaching toward the heels. Press into your feet. Make sure your gaze is pointed straight toward the ceiling. So as we come into this next shape, try not to turn your head at all. Press down into the feet, lift your hips. Feel your heels press into the ground and almost like they're trying to slide back toward you. So, this pose should be an activator of hamstring and low glute. So, the muscles, the area of the body we elongated through most of practice today. Now we're going to balance it out by giving it some activation here. Your hands can stay alongside the body, or you can walk the hands underneath you into a clasp of thumbs or all of the fingers. And breathe. Option to stay here. If this already feels like a lot, stay, please stay. If you want a little something different to explore today, you might start to shift into that right foot. Bring your left knee toward toward your chest. Maybe play with kicking that left foot toward the sky. You keep pressing down into your right foot to lift the hips and then rebend. I won't make you hold it very long. Put the foot on the ground and you're out of there. Hips down. Release your arms. Try to resist the urge to bring the knees into the chest. Just let the knees knock in on one another, feet wide. Find your breath here. And before we get too comfy, let's do the second round. Feet hip width, knees hip width, arms alongside the body. Press into your feet. Feel the hamstrings engage. Lift the hips. Walk the arms underneath you any amount. Maybe you clasp hands or thumbs. Maybe you just keep the arms alongside you. Possibly staying here with 2 feet on the ground. Maybe you shift into that left foot. Bring the right knee up. Maybe you kick right leg up to straight. The hips are going to want to sink and deflate. So keep pushing into that left foot. Lift, 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 lift. Bend the knee. Foot comes down. And hips come down. Feet wide. Knees knock in. Right back into the breath. And then let's separate your knees. We're going to let both of your knees fall toward the right. Let the legs be wide enough that both legs can sort of just plop toward the right. If you would like a little more for the outer left thigh and hip, you might take your right ankle, plug it, or kind of latch it over that outer left thigh. But if that causes any knee, low back, hip pain in any way, any place, just let the right foot stay on the ground. Let the right leg slide off the left if it's latched. Bring the knees back through center. And then knees to the left. Legs wide enough that both legs can plop. Maybe left ankle latches over the outer right thigh just above the knee. that left leg to slide to the ground. Bring your 2 knees back up toward the sky. And then let's bring your knees into your chest. We're going to let the knees go wide and take happy baby. So you can hold on to the outer edges of the feet. You can hold the ankles. You can hold behind the knees. Maybe rock just a little bit side to side. If you have your hands on ankles or feet, you might play with straightening one leg and then bending and straightening the other leg and just sort of dancing side to side there. And then let's bring your body and your legs to center. Take your hands, slide them to the back of your thighs. Let the legs straighten and stack over your hips. If you do not need the support of your hands, your arms could come overhead if that feels nice. Grabbing opposite elbows or forearms in some way. Legs can be any amount of bent to make this work for your low back. And then bend your 2 knees, bring them in, reach down, grab on. Maybe pull the chin up toward the knees one more time. And let's release. Legs out straight. Arms beside you, or perhaps the hands on belly. Let the eyes close and see if you can guide yourself into that place of refuge. And if your internal landscape does not feel like a refuge today, then perhaps for your Shavasana today, you let yourself wander and you mentally take yourself to a place that does feel like a refuge. Your favorite beach, your favorite forest, your favorite patio in the sun, your favorite reading chair or hammock. Take refuge, take rest. Let's gently begin to deepen your breath. Easily, gently begin to add some movement back in as it feels nice. Movement that eventually brings you over to a side, gently, easily up to a comfortable seat. As you find your seat, bring your hands together in front of your heart, palm to palm. Taking this inner space and inner landscape with you today, whatever you were able to carve out for yourself in terms of an inner refuge, whatever you were able to carve out for yourself in terms of clarity and peace and space, taking it with you as a gift to you and to everyone you connect with along the way. Thank you all so much for practicing together this morning. Namaste. Happy Saturday, everyone. So glad you were here with us. Thanks for all the help, Shanti. Still just out. Couple things to look forward to and to start to kind of peek ahead to. So if you haven't seen it or found it yet, not everything, 95% of summer is in the app now. It's just the beginnings of Portland. We have some other stuff in the works for Portland. In Salem, it's everything except for Riverfront, I believe. We're still working on the details for that. So start to look ahead. The SUP classes are in there. The beach class is in there, Thunder Island. Nothing is open for registration yet, so it'll all look full. Don't freak out. We'll announce when those are opening. And thank you, Jacob. So glad you were here with us. We are continuing this live stream schedule of Saturday morning, Monday night, Wednesday at noon through the end of April. And then as we move into March and our summer schedule, as things get busier for us as teachers and the schedule gets fuller and busier, we're going down to just one live stream a week. And that is going to be Monday nights at 6 p.m. So look for that. Of course, that'll be there then at the start of your week to practice with anytime you need it, whether it's Saturday morning or it's Wednesday night or whatever the case may be. So look for that. Karen, thank you. Enjoy your sunny weekend. Wendy, I like drinking bird too, especially I was like watching the birds dive into the ocean yesterday. Descriptions for Venmo and PayPal donations are in the description. Our PayPal is currently being we've got an issue with that, so it's being fixed, but it might not work for you, but Venmo will definitely work. That should be back up and running very soon. And Lori, I'm so glad you enjoyed class. All right, Shanti and I are gonna go. I don't know. I'm gonna try to convince her. Thanks, Danny. Enjoy your garden. Lexi, thanks for being here. I'm gonna try to convince her she wants to go walk on the beach, but she looks like she's maybe unconvincible at this moment. All right, everyone. I'm hitting end. Have a great day. See you soon. Oh, I will, Lori. I will be definitely doing some beach reading today in your honor. All right, everyone. See you next time.